Hello, welcome to the second day update of our journey from SSF Druid to Tier 2 Rathma. Many more to come. So, I know this update comes out 2 days after the first update. It's not because I wasn't grinding yesterday, it's for the opposite reason. We were grinding so much yesterday that I just ended up kind of crashing after the after the stream. So I'm bringing the update today, and yeah, we'll hopefully get back to a normal sleep schedule. We've got crazy stuff going on from today onwards. But we'll see, who knows, you know, life is unpredictable, yada yada. So, as we say, let's get on with the video. Our goal on the second day was to improve our charms, get maybe a torch and an Annie. So let me hop in the game over here. And yeah, you'll see that I have gotten them. I will show kind of like how our journey there went. So first, let me pull up the video of all the drops and the highlights. There it is. And after that, we can talk a little bit about our current situation, where we're at, and also what are we planning for day number 3. So while running cows, hoping to get some skillers, we actually dropped this like unique ring. It's just a manal, but it's a good reminder to pop the chests in good areas. Just pop the chests. It doesn't take too long in SSF. It's worth it. You're gonna get a lot of nice stuff from it. And yeah, here we drop a pull rune, and pull rune, I know it's not considered a high rune, but it's a super useful rune. It combines into an that's super useful. It's helping you in rune words like Heart of the Oak, which is super good for a summoner, for example, and it works in many other rune words too. It also upgrades weapons and gear, so super important one. And over here in a tier 1 map, we drop a messer. I have quite the history of messers on this channel, apparently. And we drop one. It's a pretty good weapon. It's not ethereal, so it's not like a tier 2 Rathma candidate, but I wanted to see what happens, and we ended up breaking it, so it didn't matter too much. But it's nice to see items like messer starting to pop up, and kind of like, you know, the higher end of weapons and gear starting to pop for us. Over here in the same maps, just like shortly after, we drop a Grand Crown. That is the Crown of Thieves, which is an amazing day 1, day 2 kind of item. A lot of gold find, a lot of magic find. So I kind of wanted to use it, but I'll give you kind of like a spoiler warning. I broke it, so we ended up going back to the lore shortly after. I probably shouldn't have slammed it, but it's okay. You gotta take risks to win big. Over here, we're farming Izzy for keys, and yeah, he dropped this this rare jewel. Now we're technically looking mostly for blue jewels because they fit more the things Druid want to do, like minus requirement with all res or IAS with ED. These kind of jewels are like the GG stuff we're looking for. But this is an amazing jewel, 35 ED, 11 max damage, 21 cold res. This would be an amazing jewel for melee for Rathma. So actually really happy with that one. It was a really good jewel, and yeah, we'll keep it. It might be a really good candidate to get into our final gear if we do end up going with melee. Over here we saw that Izzy also dropped us a cold lifer, so a cold res lifer small charm, 11 res, 12 life. That's the kind of gear that you can use during tier 2s, so amazing charm. Really happy about that one. It'll probably go a long way with us. Over here in a Chaos, we went into Chaos just to run Corrupted Zones. We dropped our first relevant skiller with a Shapeshift plus 4 dex. Not a lifer, but could definitely be the start of our journey to tier 2s. And over here at Izzy, we drop a unique helm. You don't even see it there because every time we farm Izzy, like he kills everything in the surrounding area. This is the Vampire Gaze. It rolls 18 PDR. That's not too high, but could definitely be like a solid option if we are trying to run like declones at a higher level. It could be like one of the helmets we use. And I do plan to kill declone at tier 2 as well eventually, so it's going to be nice. Over here we drop... what was it that we dropped over here? I wonder. Another unique ring. I wonder which one that was. That was a Manald. Another Manald. Okay, so I didn't collect all the instances of us dropping a Manald. Oh, never mind. We clipped this because 2 moments after we got the Manald, I now remember. We dropped a ward. A ward, of course, Druid ward being the best in slots for Summoner Druid. So if this is the 1 ward out of 7 that we want, it could be amazing for us. And yeah, we're really excited, really hoping this is the right word for us. Of course, it could be a +2 to any skills on the word. It could be barbarian, sorceress, any class. So if it is for us, that's amazing. Any other class doesn't matter too much because we're only playing Druid here. And the word we got is an Amazon word. Yeah, that's it's a tough one. Amazon, especially since it's a class I really don't play. I also got 30 res, but I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter. These things happen. Here from another chest, we drop a Mal rune. Mal rune, again, one of these flexible runes that help you for making a call to arms. It helps you to make like ists if you need ists for anything runes or for farming. It also will be used in a beast rune ward, so that's really nice to have. Here in the same map, we drop chain gloves. These are, of course, the chance guards. Amazing SSF gear, especially since gloves are not too important. We slam them with magic find. These are 51 magic find chance gloves, which is an amazing find. Really, really nice for us because it really boosted our MF to the next level. So yeah, really happy about that one. We're still using them. Here we hop into the demon road, and over here, you can already see that like today's loot is like shaping up quite nicely. A lot of nice things over there, and I think this is like something like 10 hours or 8 hours into the second day, and I'm looking at all sorts of things. We see there's in the background it says there's an event for a goblin, and poof, there is a bear rune dropping. This was a massive game changer for us because bear can be used in one of 3 ways. One is for a Wrath Act 1 merc, which is an amazing mapping buff. 2 is if we find a Jaw rune, you can make an Enigma, obviously, which again is an amazing way to buff your gear. And the third way is to make a Beast, which is also good for farming, also good for bossing. So amazing anyway option. Really, really happy with the bear drop, and you'll see what we made with it soon. We went to farm Trav for a little bit, and we find a rune staff. That's of course the Skull Collector, and yeah, Skull Collector gives amazing MF, so it's something that I personally really like using for SSF. It really boosts your finds and lets you kind of get around faster with the FCR and plus skills. So yeah, obviously very, very good early on. I'll probably transition from it at some point. But this is like really nice in order to teleport fast and look for everything that you need, and to cast fast as well. So what we ended up doing with the bear rune is actually make a beast. You can see me kind of like going over the runes, making sure they're all correct. Here's the Mal we dropped earlier that day too. So a beast is kind of like I had kind of like a split idea on what I should do. I wanted to make a Wrath. And I wanted to save for the Enigma, but essentially when I go into later gear, I wouldn't want to use an Enigma. I'd like to use like a Templar's Might, for example, and I'd like to use a Beast as well. That's kind of like what I'd have in mind. So I figured I'll just go over, make the Beast. I'll also use it during Ubers and during Declone, which is what I ended up doing. So I decided I'll go with the Beast. I'll wait on the Wrath, and I'll make the Wrath later. That will be my second bear, and I'll skip the Enigma completely. That's kind of like my plan for now. Okay, so we make the Beast. We have our mini Fanaticism. It did hit only 8 to Fanaticism, so the worst roll, but it is what it is, and we still have our Beast, so we're pretty happy. Over here at Mephisto, he drops us a bow knife. That is the Wizard Spike. If you drop this at day 1, this is why you go to Mephisto on day 1. If you drop this on day 1, you can already Uber with this. You can already do Declone with this. Wizard Spike's incredibly strong with 75 all res and 50 FCR. It kind of covers all your needs. So Wizard Spike, super big fan. I already got my Beast, so it didn't matter as much, but it's super, super nice drop. Over here we drop on the way to Mephi, a Caduceus, 5 sockets with high ED base. Again, not something I'm planning to use, but technically you can use it on Bear. It's not that bad, and you can use it obviously on Paladin. Amazing weapon from the Griswold set. Yeah. Next drop we had is a Dusk Shroud. That's the Ormus robe, and we identify it's a Meteor Ormus. This is pretty much, in my opinion, the best sorceress to SSF with is the Meteor source. So Really happy for anybody who would drop this on a sorceress. Of course, we're not playing sorceress, but it was a really nice, cool drop. Okay, over here, this is kind of like a sped up part for our first Uber fight. I think we did it somewhere at like 12 hours into the day, 12 or 13, so a little bit tired, but as you can see, the fight is no real trouble with Druid. I could have done it probably on the first day. I just didn't have like, I think it took us time to get our keys, so it was towards the end of the day, and I was like, okay, I'll just do some other stuff and close the stream. I'll do this the next day. The one problem that I had in the fight was actually during the Bale fight. You can see that kind of like the guys he spawns, I forget their name, the Dark Lords. What is their name? Specters? Whatever their name is, they're really annoying. Dark Lords, yeah. They're really annoying, really hard to kill. I don't, like, this is the first time I'm playing Summoner into, like, Ubers or anything. I've never really done it, so maybe I'm missing something gameplay-wise. But it was really hard to make, like, the bears and the crows to attack specifically Bale without getting targeted by, like, his mana burn and his cold wave. So that part was a little bit grindy, but all in all, I was never, like, in danger or anything. Like, as long as you overcap your res for cold properly, you'll be fine. You can see I'm deciding to kind of like change approach and just make him like come from a different angle. I want to attack Diablo first, but he ends up just jumping on me, and we managed to separate them in the end. Overall, the fight didn't take that long. I think it took us like 10 minutes or something like that, 10 to 15 minutes to finish the fight. Overall, with like the gear that we had at the time, it's not really like a big deal. So it's like, it's okay. I think we're like level 88 or 89, which is pretty late. You can probably do it like 10 levels earlier, or like 8 levels, if there is still the restriction on level 80 to enter Ubers. I don't remember if they removed it or not. I remember hearing something about that. But yeah, we end up killing Bale, and shortly after, we go to kill Diablo as well. The fight is pretty simple. I mostly went in with Juice, but if I'm being honest, you can take like half of your inventory as mana potions, because for the most part you're juving for mana and not for health. So you can see I'm like, okay, I have like my portals left. I'm just gonna get my Merc back and also buy a ton of mana potions. So I guess I can kind of like skip forward, and yeah, you can see not a big problem. You just walk around. Sometimes I was like pretty tired, so at some points I accidentally, I think, teleported on him, so be careful when you do that. Okay, you see I want to run away and I teleport on him for no reason. But yeah, you just keep resummoning, keep your distance, make sure you circle around so you don't get caught by anything. Slow and steady wins the race. And yeah, we finally get our first torch, and I was really happy about that. It took us like it was a really long day, so every victory feels like an amazing victory. I feel like that's part of the vibe for SSF. It's like whenever we get any small win, it feels so massive, and it's part of kind of like the fun in doing it. And people are trying to guess like what torch I'm gonna get, and I guessed at the time we're gonna get like a mediocre Druid torch. We still don't have our PDE to get into Declone. I was hoping to get it before we do the Uber fight, so I don't have to spend time like moving from Uber back to maps back to Declone. But we didn't manage to get it after like 15 or 16 maps. So I was like, fuck it, let's do Ubers and continue. And our first torch, yeah, that's our beast. Our first torch is a lot of suspense. It's a Necro Torch. Personally, I wasn't too unhappy with this. Like, it rolled 19 for res, which is really important early on. So I used it as a res stick. We get another ring over here, and this is our first Raven Frost, meaning we can finally shed the Spirit Shroud if we want to get CBF from something else and use a better armor like Rain or something like that. Onwards, in an area battlefield, we find the Hawk Helm. This is Kestal. can roll 1 to 2 druid skills. If I rolled 2, I'd go fucking bananas, but I rolled only 1. This is still an amazing helm, especially for SSF summoner, because as you can see, suddenly I can teleport at an insane speed, meaning farming keys and materials is way, 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 way faster. So Kestal, I think one of the best drops we had technically in terms of how much it improved us, even though we had a lot of other big drops. This for me was like an amazing game changer in terms of what we can do and how fast we can do it. Over here, we drop a Demon Hide Sash. We also drop a unique ring at the same time for Mephisto. This is, of course, the String of Ears and some kind of unique ring. Who knows which one. Only rolled 11 to PDR, which is pretty low, but I do try to slam it. We immediately break it, so we get rid of it. I didn't have like a specific need for it, but as you can see, the ring is an amazing ring. I'm not going to slam it just because I really need that. It's Nature's Priest. It rolled 3 to all, 10 to physical damage reduced, which, I mean, it's less important, but still nice to see. Near perfect stats. Nature's Priest is the ring we want to use for Rathma on almost all of the Druid builds. So, amazing drop. Really happy with that one, and I'll hopefully get to slam it for either life, attack rating, anything that's useful for the final fight. Over here, while farming Summoner for another Uber set, we dropped 2 Keys of Hate, which is exactly what we were missing at the time to do another Uber fight. Over here, while farming Sewers, we dropped Venom Grip, which are for rabies the best in slot for Rathma. As you can see, they give poison skill damage, but also maximum poison resist, which is exactly what you want for Rathma. So, very nice drop. Again, just in the case that we will end up doing tier 2 Rathma on rabies. It's always good to remember kind of like what items are the things you're looking for the fight. When we came back to a map, we noticed we dropped an Ethereal Edge that we didn't even get a notification for. And that Ethereal Edge has an amazing stat at like 177 ED, free off perfect, and 200 ED to demons. Now this is more like a declone killer, but technically you can kill Rathma on it with the right slams. We end up rolling 5 sockets. This is not the best slam. It's probably not even the second best slam. But you can reach with 5 shells, which is pretty cheap. Reach 3.2 FPA for Fury or 4 FPA for Bear. So it's definitely something I could try at least. At the very least I can try to run it and see how it does. Which we might end up doing. We'll see. It's really hard to get the right weapon in SSF, and Ethereal Edge comes indestructible and ethereal, so it's rare to get something that's so cheap to get running as well. So definitely we'll give it a shot once we respec into one of those. So I think I'm right now thinking to myself what I can do with it. Over here, you can see we are at 99.99 experience, and this is the beautiful moment where we reach finally level 90. So it's not a drop, just a highlight for me. We reached level 90 on day 2. That's, I don't know. I didn't expect to get there at all. I didn't have any expectations, but I didn't think that's what's going on. This is our second Spirit Shroud, dropping in Arid Battlefield. We were looking for another one to give to our Merc so he doesn't get frozen all the time, so it was nice to get finally. Yeah, let me skip a little bit forward. We slammed it for lightning res, nothing too impressive or important. Over here, the Sewers, we jump in, and first mob we kill drops a Jaw rune. Wow. Effectively dropping the Enigma on day 2. We already used the bear obviously for the beast, but Jaw runes will be super useful for boss fights. If we are going to go with summoner or rabies, throwing jaws in our gear can be really useful. It's also part of super important rune wards, so very important rune. We'll see what we end up doing with it. Right now I'm just saving it because I think I'll end up using it for my gear. Here we got I think our third torch of the day. We ran like another one before we ran declone because we didn't get a PDE yet. Our second torch was a Necro torch as well, so we got 2 Necro torches. Everybody's guessing Druid because it's the third torch, right? Statistically, we should get a Druid torch already because I want one. And our third torch was, let's see, a barbarian torch. This one technically is an upgrade because it has 20 res and 1 more vitality as well. So it's an upgrade, and that's nice to have. I think after this comes the declone fight, and yeah, let me stop here. I'll pause the music real quick. Or actually, no, I don't have to pause the music. It's fine. So we end up going, we respect for a werewolf form, but otherwise we kept the skills pretty much the same. I just swapped the skills I put into Gust into werewolf. It cost us 1 respec. We still have 2 respecs from the base game quest, and we also have like a few tokens that we already farmed. People wrote on the last video that you can buy tokens on Pluggy. I know that you can resell on Pluggy for free, or not for free, for gold, I guess, but it personally felt weird to me that I would be using something that's not available in the normal game. So I figured out it's better if I just farmed them myself. I would feel like that's more honest to what I'm doing right now. And you can kind of see like the fight against Declone Tier 0 is actually way simpler than I remembered. I spent the full season. Let me speed this up real quick. I spent like the season doing a ton of Tier 2s. So I think my perception of how hard Declone is kind of warped because of it. But here you can see how I fight like the Tier 0 Declone. Pretty much with early gear, we do have the beast, but the beast wasn't like the huge game changer here. A lot of res charms, a lot of like plus res from gear. We have like a lidless with a perfect diamond, so it gives us +1 more skill. We found it along the day. I don't remember when. So yeah, we're going around. We're using the beast and the lidless, and you can kind of just keep your distance for the most part. You're summoning. You try to keep up your feral rage. It's just for the move speed, so you can maneuver around. But you can see the damage is pretty good. The boots are just res boots. The belt is just has fire and cold res. And the rings, I used the natures that we dropped in 1 dwarf star that we dropped on the first day. Both being really nice. Our health is just above 2k, which keeps you pretty safe. As long as you're like moving in time, like you should be okay. And this is the first time I've done a boss fight with Summoner, so I'm sure I can improve a lot on my gameplay here. There is kind of like a timing and a placement where you want to put like the summons so they actually attack and they don't like run around or come back to you. So it might be more important, especially with the crows. It seems like it's more important to summon them and stay close to the target that you want to attack. But I'm sure that once we do a couple attempts, we'll get better at it. Not to say that we did badly, but I think we could have used significantly less rejuves than what we ended up using. And yeah, you do want to try and escape these like these wisp fires. If you can, run them into a pillar like we do back there. That's something you can practice all the time with any build. That's like just a good habit in this fight, like bumping the spirits into a pillar or into yourself and running away, so you don't take the fire damage that they leave. Yeah, over here we remembered we can also summon the poison snake, so we bound it also during the fight. Normally I don't summon it, but yeah, it was doing a little bit of the damage over time here. It does get benefits from all of our plus skills, so why not? And over here we finish the mage phase. We send them to the corner, to the middle one last time. We go to the corner, and we fill our jewels. We don't use that many, as you can see. It's like really not a big issue. And yeah, we just circle around him while our summons are doing the work. A lot of the work, by the way, credit to the ravens, doing amazing damage. And yeah, we're doing a little celebration here. And this is our Anilus for day 2. Anilus and a torch achieved. We also have 2 other torches, which will eventually be used as Rathma food when we start farming Rathma as well. We will want to farm a few more Annies if we can get a better Annie, and obviously so we can also slam Annies and still have backups. Eventually moving to a +2 skill Annie is the goal, of course. So yeah, we're really happy with this. I just want to show the stats on the Annie. We have a moment looking to identify it. I think I'm looking for my identification tone, which I think I left on my private page. Yeah, there we go. Doing a small prayer for our first SSF Annie. or maybe I'm not doing a prayer, I'm just talking and yapping randomly. Yeah, people throwing all sorts of random guesses into it, and our Anni stats are 43 vit, 16 res, and 6 experience. A relatively average roll, I know, but it is what it is. Okay, that was the last highlight for yesterday, because shortly after that drop, I decided to end the stream because it was nearing 20 hours. I actually finished on 20 plus hours, I think, which is way too much. I didn't even cash my gold at the end of the day, which shows how tired I was. So, quick overview of where we're at right now. We're using the rune staff, the skull collector. I punched one hole with it with a malice because we're never boxing it. We slammed it for FCR, meaning we're reaching really high breakpoints just with this one, which is really, really nice. And it gives us 90 MF at the moment because it's based on character level. I put an all resistance jewel inside it just to buff up my resistances a little bit. We're using the Kaztal, punched a hole in this one too, and slammed it for 6 PDR, which is really, really nice. Really awesome buff for us. So we used this to teleport around. We also found the Alder Stony Gaze, which we put a ruby in because I think we used it during the Declan fight. We're using both of these, this to farm mats because it lets us teleport faster, and this is more used in maps because it gives us 3 more skill points than this one. Still using the Spirit Shroud with the Topaz in it, just like MF, CBF, plus skills, FCR, everything you could want on the armor. When I find a better armor, I'll probably switch. It wouldn't be too hard because we have our Ravenfrost kind of ready. The amulet is a crafted amulet. We made 2 to summoning skills, 10 FCR, 21 or res. Overall, very, very nice. It's kind of like a bad Mara with FCR for us, effectively. So, really nice to have. Chance Guard with MF. We have our gold wrap with 32 MF and 5 total attributes. We have here a res ring with a lot of fire and lightning res. Over here, a Nagel with 11 fire res and 27 MF. A tri-res boost totally gives us 71 res and 11 MF, which is nice to have. It gives also, oh sorry, it doesn't give 71 res, it gives 108 total res, which is a lot. It's a quad res, not a tri-res. I'm just being forgetful. It gives also 20 faster run walk, which is not bad. So this is kind of like our gear here. On our switch, we have our beast and lidless, which is what we mostly run around with. The rune, the skull collector is mostly to MF with and to teleport around. In our charms, we have our barbarian torch with 20 res, 34 vit, and our Anilus. I'm hoping to get one more Anni at the start of day 3. I'm just gonna have to farm another PDE. They just haven't been dropping. And after that, we'll respec again back to Gust. Like right now, we have points into Lycanthropy, Werewolf, and Feral Rage, and only 1 point into Gust, so we can teleport about. But I will respec to gain like this maximum like Gust buff because it's just nicer to farm mats with it, and I don't have to boss anytime soon because we already have our Anni. We are at 0.4, sorry, not 0.4, at 42 experience at level 90. So I'm gunning at level 92 for day 3, but maybe I'll just do level 91. I'm not sure. Day 3 is going to be significantly shorter than the last 2 days, so not going to be going too hard. Still using our Geeds, and the rest are just a random assortment of res, life, charms, a little bit of MF and FHR. Just to kind of like fix our gear. We have a total of 340 MF, which is insane for farming. It's mostly, again, big respect to Skull Collector and the Chance Guards, but also these like Topazes are coming in, the Gold Wrap, the Nagel, overall giving us what we need, and some, I think, exist on the charms. Running Chance Guards, by the way, for SSF, super recommended. It keeps my gold at like a nice level, and it lets me every now and then I can buy orbs for myself. I just like stacked up on destruction, so I never have to buy them again, and Zakharum, Horadrim orbs as well. So yeah, overall this is our state. Day 3, I'm looking to get skillers. I try to do it on day 2. We actually used most of our gems to reroll charms. You can see I'm keeping like 88 plus level charms, and we're re-rolling them, and we did manage to re-roll quite a few of them into skillers, some of them even with life. Just none of them were for Druid. So we got like defensive warriors with 27, a bow and crossbow with 33. I think we had one more lifer here, but yeah, the poison and bone with 9. Summoning skills for Necro, martial arts with 29. So we rolled a bunch of skillers. Sadly, used up almost all of our gems, so we'll have to replenish our stock and re-roll again. So looking to do that. I don't know if we'll manage to get any Druid skillers that are relevant to us, especially not lifers, but I'll keep trying because you have to do it. It's part of the grind. So day 3, looking to get a second Anni, and in addition, some skillers. That's kind of like the goal right now. It's not too grand of a goal, but it is the goal for day number 3. Secondary Anni, so we can also slam eventually once we do get the Mendel event. I haven't gotten one yet, and also getting that skillers, getting started on them at least. Okay, with that said, this video has been long enough for an update video. It's been like 30 minutes. I'll get it uploaded, and we'll get started on the grind like every day. 5 to 6 hours is today's goal instead of like 20. I think that'll be a better length for day number 3, because we have to relax this. With that said, thank you everyone for watching and for joining me on this journey. And yeah, if you want to catch this journey live, join me on my Twitch. It's linked in the description. If you don't want to do it, well, I'll be severely hurt, and I'll take it very personally. Till then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.